All right. So yesterday or last night, I'm in Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. and this In Search of Wonders is the Compass event for the armaments came out. I personally like the event a lot. Well, it's really the only event for armaments, but also maybe it's the degenerate Asian gambler in me. I don't know. I like probability percentages, trying to get something to a good place. I think armaments are very underrated just because a lot of people don't fully grasp it, so they neglect it, and you can actually make up a lot of ground there over other people who have way more advanced gear than you. I think that's a route I decided to take. But anyways, I max purchased the bundles, what, $385. I was just going to sit in bed, open it up, and afterwards I was going to kill some barbs for the 7K gem event. I guess Ploto saw the gold chest drop, and he reminded me that I should screen record it. So the next footage after this is going to be towards the end. The part where I opened all the compasses took about 45 minutes. I didn't get a direct upgrade from that. I got probably about 20 pretty good ones. Probably like 5 or 6 triple stats, even I think like 2 triple stat and scribe ones, and they still weren't direct upgrades just because my armaments are in a pretty good place. And so the stuff I did save, they're high upside. Like if I worked on them, they could be better than what I have. But right now, there wasn't necessarily a direct upgrade out of anything I pulled. I think there was one that was maybe slightly better on the Archer 2 set. One's triple stat, one is double stat with inscription. The third one I have to roll. So the next footage coming up is afterwards, right? Because you get a bunch of transmutation stones from recycling all the stuff you don't use. And also, I think you just get like 15 transmutation stones from the bundles anyways. So it's me re-rolling. I'll give my thoughts after this because I'll show before and after of my armaments after the footage. But just first thought, I think it can be good value depending on where your armaments are at. And you just have to understand, right? Because it's all stats, like percentages. As your armaments get better and better, it is just going to be harder and harder to upgrade or get incremental upgrades. I think I'm at about the point where I should take my attention away from armaments now and really focus on moving my equipment up. But there is a lot of people, Ploto, who his armaments are decent. I feel like I'm trashing someone on the video, but like his gear is so much ahead, or equipment is so much ahead, that if he put a little bit into armaments, he could actually get a way bigger boost. So if you're watching this, Ploto, I think you should. I'm not saying max purchase this bundle, but at least put some into armaments, just because I think it'll make a huge difference. But coming up is some footage, and then I'll show the before and after the next footage. All right, so it was about 40 minutes, but I went through this In Search of Wonders, right? I got all maxed at 385, 384, however much it cost, 380. And then the compass did all 200, and I actually ended up getting one upgrade. I'll show you guys. I ended up getting this, right? And I had this triple stat before on Kira, and this I determined was a slight upgrade. Obviously, we need to re-roll it. But, yeah, my armaments are actually already in a pretty good place. So it's unlikely you're going to get an upgrade, right? So this is my arch. I do have 6 marches. So 1 arch formation for infantry, and then 2 wedge for infantry. 2 wedge for archer, 2 wedge for cav, and another one for infantry. So my calves, here's a cav 1, here's the archer 1, here is archer 2, and here is infantry wedge 1, right? And then here is the cav 2. So they're in a pretty good place. I did get a couple I would save on the side, maybe something I'll work on later. But for now, like if you look at this is the rare I got. It's not my favorite, right? 2% skill damage is okay. It's actually less than just a straight up 2.5 that you get. I forgot what it's called on the instrument. But then you also can reduce some skill damage. So it's pretty good. There's not one thing that's clearly I should upgrade, right? So these are all triple stats without an inscription. Like technically I could just not lock anything and roll it and get a double stat and get lucky, right? But that's something that I don't really need to work on right now. So what I determined is I'm going to either roll this emblem, where I have 3 chances here to either get the health, or with the Guan Yu, I can go for redo the crystal and then roll this. So let's just roll out the Herman first. Hopefully I get lucky and then get a triple stat, or else I don't even know I don't have much to show for it. Okay, so let's actually do this. So lock the 2. It really hurts to roll away 3.5 infantry health, but here we go. Boom. Okay, perfect. Okay, I actually kind of got lucky. Lock it for now. Now it can get better, right? But let's see. It can get better, but if I have nothing to get health, that's a 1.5% boost, right? If I wanted another 1.5% boost, I would literally need to get 3. And I already did the math in another video. It's very, very hard to get. So this is one I'm actually really happy with, because I was expecting to not hit it. The chances when 3 tries wasn't really high. So now I have actually all relevant stats for my Archer 1. So now let's actually go to Guan Yu, right? And here, this is one where, right, technically I could go to something with triple stats, right? But this has a double inscription. Even though the double isn't that good, the combination of the 2 makes it decent. So I could either do that or this cohesive, right? This isn't one I'm necessarily that happy with. Not in a very good place. I almost don't want to work on it. So we're going to use the transmutation crystal. So we're going to reset this. Okay, good. Now, I'm only going to lock the health, just because the 1.6 attack, ideally I could do better, right? So let's see what happens. I have 23 crystals left. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. Oh, boom. Triple stat. Okay. 2 for 2. Wow. Maybe I just need to record this. Okay. So, wait. So, replace, right? Replace? Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Perfect. And then I'm not going to touch this for now, even though it can be better, right? But I'm actually super happy with that. 2 for 2. I mean, full transparency, like, my armaments were pretty good, so even though I got probably about 20 that I would consider good armaments, only 1 was usable, and I think a lot of people will be disappointed, and I was a little disappointed, but now with the rerolls, I've actually been getting super lucky, right? So even though it's not high stats, but there was a slight upgrade on the attack, and I should have just got 1.5% of defense, which is a big boost. So now I have to decide whether to, because technically I could try to reroll this, but that's just not a very good one. I would rather just wait and hopefully just get lucky and get something that's better to work on, right? Whereas we take a look at, okay, so Archer is done. Right, I think it's time to actually work on this Scipio. Okay, and this one, it's kind of annoying, but I'm just going to lock the defense because I want to be aggressive with this. And let's see what happens. Okay, so let's transmute. And I'm only going to... Ooh, I don't know. Or I should just go for attack. It's kind of close. Like, I want to be aggressive with this, but... well, if I don't get it, I still have the 1. So this one actually, let's just say I roll right, and it's not something I like. I could still have at least a decent second stat. So let's see what happens. Okay, so no. Okay, so march speed instead of health. Is that an upgrade that I would want? Like, basically, I would only keep this if 2.2% is something I will lock, and it's not. So I'm not going to lock it. Right? Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. Okay, that's even worse. And now I'm out of the 3 rolls. Okay, so I didn't get it there, right? But I got lucky on the other ones. And someone exit out. Okay, I have two transmutation stones left. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much this armament experience. I actually also recycled enough to do the 180 here, right? And I got the 180, and I got the shard, which you expect, and unfortunately, I got this devious. I was really hoping to get a inscription for a flag. That would have been huge, right? Because you literally have a chance to get an inscription, right? Like if I got a spiked or something, 3.5%, I could put on that attack. That would have been huge. Like there's all these. I actually got one on my farm, right? But that's just kind of how it works. I've only gotten epic flags. I mean, epic inscriptions on my main. So overall, I upgraded 3 things. I'll show the before and after. Is this event worth it? I didn't get too big of an upgrade from the In Search of Wonders just because it was hard. Right, I got a couple that I could potentially work on in the future. I got a lot of armaments that I could recycle. If your armaments aren't in a good place, I think you definitely should work on this. Without many rolls, the value is there. I think it's worth it. Now, if your armaments are better, it's just unlikely you're straight up going to get something that's better, right? But then you re-roll, you work on the projects over time, it gets better. Like I'm really happy, right? I actually completed, right? I could still get better, but I'm not going to focus on this before I get, say, like the Guan Yu, get these little rainbow stats out of the Guan Yu. So for the most part, I was actually say I'm happy with this, right? And I got a bunch of gems. So I got a bunch of gems. Technically, right now, if I wanted to go to VIP 17, I can. But actually, I might just do it. Or let's see, how far am I away? So 68,000 away. Okay, I'll still have enough for. I was gonna save for more than gems, which I think comes this week or next week. So if I just straight up spend 60, yeah, so I'll save it because I can do the more than gems, and then I could probably spend it on some like equipment event. So now I'm gonna go chain barbs, or not chain barbs. I'm straight up just gonna kill barbs, and do the 7K event. Okay, but regardless, this event I still think it's really good. By the way, if you do pick a formation, for the overwhelming majority of people, I think you should pick wedge. Even if you want to work on the arch wedge, you could get cav, you could get archer, and you could get infantry. And if you're just looking to maximize the value, unless your armaments are already in a really good place and you're like a garrison lead or something where you really need arch, I think you should still just pick wedge, and that's where you can maximize the value there. So yeah, that's the event. I'm going to do a before and after my armaments. I'll post it at the end of this. All right, so I actually did do one more reroll of the infantry arch that I didn't record. So I ended up changing this stat up here a little bit, and I'll go over it. But when I re-rolled it, right, this is the armament, so the scroll on the top left. I was locking the defense. I had 1.7 health, but I didn't want to keep it. I knew I wanted something more. And I ended up rolling a 2.7 march speed. So for infantry, even though it's arch, I would prefer attack a little bit more than, say, if it was wedge. I decided to end up switching and locking that. So now this will probably be the next armament I work on, where I just lock the 2 and then roll for health. So for the arch, I ended up gaining 2.7 march speed, losing 1.7 health. I normally would not make that trade, but long term, I think this will be a higher upside. For the wedge, that's where I got the most lucky, right? I ended up gaining 2.8 attack, 3.2 defense, and 0.1 health. So that's 6.1% of stats, right? And then I lost cohesive. Cohesive is you deal 2% extra damage when you have over 50% unit. I actually think it's really good, but I think in this case, I would take the extra 6.1% of stats over that inscription. For Archer 1, that's one also in the footage, right? I ended up just getting a 1.5 health. Do I wish it was higher? Yes, but 1.5 health is still actually pretty good. And what's cool is, it just kind of cleaned up my Archer March. So now every stat is relevant. So in finally, this is after the event, right? So if you look on the screen here, I have two sets that have stats aren't relevant. So the Archer 2 and the Infantry Arch. Those will be the next two that I work on. My Transmutation Stones will go there. Unless I just, pull something where it's like a very high upside inscription, where you have high upside armament when you already have an inscription and maybe like some high stats where you could potentially upgrade over this. But once you're done here, like the upgrade is going to be incremental unless Lilith changes the system. I don't think it's worth it to put that much more effort or money into it, just because if you spend that same money on equipment, you'll actually start getting a bigger upgrade. And if any of you guys have seen my equipment, you know it's pretty mid. That's definitely where I should focus on and work on next. But this is my final armaments for my 6 marches. So is this event worth it? First of all, spending $385 to gamble on something that you may or may not upgrade is, for most people, probably not worth it, right? If you know your armaments need work and this game is important to you and you want to put the money into it, I still think there is a lot of value. I think watching people that have good armaments get wrecked on stream doesn't mean the event itself isn't that good. But again, that's a lot of money to spend into a mobile game, so it's your call. If this event came out again next time, would I spend that much money into it? No, not because I don't think it's good, but because there's not that much more I could upgrade at this point. Like the upgrades will be incremental. I would rather start going to my next weakest, or my weakest spot now, which is actually equipment. All right, so if you guys watched to the end, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I will talk to you guys next time.